Good morning, everyone. This is KP Nirikshan Rao, DL in Political Science, presently working as a Principal FPSC at TTWRDC, Men Nagar Karnool at Jadcherla. I would like to teach on the topic of foreign policy, which includes in the third BA syllabus of Palamur University. I am very thankful to Gurukulam authorities for giving me this opportunity. Now I am going to teach foreign policy. The foreign policy is a very relevant topic at the present day because the entire world severely suffering with the coronavirus. The pandemic situation is utterly expanding each and every corner of the world. In this crucial situation, cooperation of other countries is very, very necessary for a particular country. In the meanwhile, our country is also expanding its cooperation to other countries. So, my topic, foreign policy, is very relevant at the present situation. Now I am going to elaborate the topic. Foreign policy consists on several subheadings like introduction, nature and scope, prerequisites, instruments, determinants. So, first of all, I would like to introduce the topic, why the need of foreign policy. A person cannot live single and isolated without the help, assistance, and cooperation of fellow human beings. Likewise, states also cannot survive, continue its development and growth without the cooperation of other states. In the modern world, many complex situations are emerging, either to get the opportunities or to get rid of the problems. A nation required other nations' cooperation and help to establish and maintain these relations with foreign states. A well-conceived foreign policy is required. Next, I would like to mention some of the definitions on foreign policy. So many political writers gave different definitions at their point of view. I would like to mention some of them. Anderson C. Road defined that foreign policy implies the formulation and implementation of a group of principles which shape the behavior pattern of the state while negotiating with other states to protect or further its vital interests. This definition gave an elaborate understanding on the concept of foreign policy. And the same way, another political writer, Hartman, also defined that the political scenario, the foreign policy is very, very significant. In his words, the foreign policy is a systematic statement of deliberately selected national interests. In this definition, a systematic approach is needed for a country to behave with other countries to protect their interests of its own and as well as other countries. The next definition I would like to tell you, foreign policy connotes a greater degree of rational procedure and a type of planning involved in a step-by-step progress to a known and defined goal. In this definition, foreign policy having a definite goal and also having some objectives and specifications. For example, Indian foreign policy having the goal to promote the international peace and security. So, all these definitions enable us to have a common understanding on the concept of foreign policy. Next, I would like to teach the nature and scope of foreign policy. We live in a global village today where many nations interact with one another on many fronts, including matters related to the economy and trade. What determines or guides the relation of these countries towards one another and the underpinning principles thereof. The nature and scope of foreign policy will give us clear-cut idea of different foreign policies adopted by various countries to protect their interests. On this whole, the foreign policy refers to general objectives that guide the activities and relationships of one state in its interaction with other states. It is very, very important. The foreign policy having some objectives. One country must act according to the formation of its policy. The policy carries the national interests and also preserving its sovereignty, territorial integrity, and also give the directions how to protect the people living in their country. The next one is the development of foreign policy is influenced by domestic considerations. The policies or behavior of other states or plans to advance specific geopolitical designs. I would like to mention so many geopolitical designs are made from time to time for the benefit of the world. So many countries come forward to protect themselves and to protect the world, to adopt the peaceful measures for the development and prosperous of the world people. I would like to mention diplomacy is the tool of foreign policy, and war, alliances, and international trade may all be manifestations of it. In this direction, diplomacy is the tool of foreign policy. When diplomatic features of a particular country will provide the route map how to behave with other countries to establish the peace measures and also economic development in the particular direction. Next one is diplomacy is the established method of influencing the decisions and behavior of foreign governments and peoples through dialogue, negotiation, and other measures short of war or violence. Diplomatic relations between the states are very, very important. Whenever there is a need to make a negotiation between the countries, the diplomacy established among the states are very, very important. The diplomatic features of the countries having the common features which gives the scope for mutual understanding, mutual respect among the countries. Whenever the situation arises, the situation is very bad at that moment, the countries come forward and make a dialogue to solve the issues. So that is the important thing which is includes in the nature and scope of foreign policy. Next, I would like to mention historically diplomacy meant the conduct of official relations between sovereign states. Historically, it is very, very important when countries' past experiences in the maintaining foreign relations. For example, the international relations is not a new topic, is not a new one. It is a age-old concept. In the ancient days, the kingdoms also having the relations between the kingdoms. The mutual and reciprocal nature had been maintained for the development of the people as well as the kingdoms. So that's why historically diplomacy meant the conduct of official relations between sovereign states. Next thing I would like to mention, the head of the government is responsible for the formulation and the conduct of foreign policy. In India, the head of the government at the center is Prime Minister. Whenever we mention the India's foreign policy, it is necessary to mention the first Prime Minister of our country, Jawaharlal Nehru, and his team established a strong foundation for the India's foreign policy. So, India's foreign policy, alternatively titled as non-aligned movement. It is a very, very worthy concept. So many countries has now following the non-aligned philosophy. So that is the greatness of our country and our first Prime Minister of Jawaharlal Nehru. Next, I would like to mention foreign policy is conducted through diplomats such as ambassadors. Like India and other countries also appointed a caliber personalities as ambassadors in various countries. So the country's aspiration, the country's philosophy on foreign policy is reflecting through the diplomats. Whenever crucial situation arises, they must act on the framework of philosophy and ideology of the foreign policy. So the diplomats must carry the philosophy and outlines of particular foreign policy as a whole without any deviation. Next one I would like to mention, diplomacy is the instrument for implementing the foreign policy of a state. It is an instrument to establish the ideology by behaving like various aspects, whichever is needed to move on the critical directions. Next, I would like to mention foreign policy is influenced by the purpose and quality of its leaders. It is also very needed to mention the quality of the leaders. Whenever a leader having good qualities, that will automatically reflect in the relations of foreign countries. So India's foreign policy, like non-aligned movement, the philosophy and ideology is reflecting in so many ways. There is so many examples how India behave in the past in the critical situations. India will not depart from the ideology of non-alignment. That is the credibility of India's foreign policy. Next one I would like to mention, the foreign policy of countries is voluntary and changes at different periods. Because the situations are changing, at the same time, our ideas are also changing, but the root philosophy of the foreign policy will not change at any cost or at any moment. I would like to mention the present scenario, globalization, liberalization and privatization occupies in a prominent place. So we have to change our attitude and also behave on the situation demands at different levels. Even though we are facing so many difficulties, we will not depart from the philosophy of our foreign policy. We are always giving importance for the international peace and security and also development of the world as well. Next, I would like to tell prerequisites of foreign policy. Study of foreign policy necessitates some factors which must be borne in mind. Foreign policy has many constituents, among them defense, diplomatic and economic interests are most important. Foreign policy is made in the name of a state but it is the government which really formulates and executes it. Foreign policy never operates in a vacuum. Rather, it is conditioned by an environment, both domestic and external. In government, it is some individuals around whom foreign policy making revolves. Foreign policy always involves both decision and action. It is very, very important. Decision and action will not vary. What a decision has taken, that must be taken into practice. Then only the country will gather the support of other countries on the particular issue and the particular aspect. So it is very, very necessary. Decision and action go away with the same degree of tendency. Both must be move on equal priority. Next, I would like to tell foreign policy embraces both important and less important matters. So every country must have some discrimination which is important and which is less important. Every country has to decide. The country must give top priority on important issues and also taken into consideration for the less important issues on the need of the time. So it is also prerequisite for foreign policy. Next one, I would like to mention cost risk factors in foreign policy has also its significance. Cost risk factors. The country must take the cost risk factors which is needed for the support of other countries. A country must not calculate the system or adopting procedure on the commercial outlook. The humanity and human values must be reflecting in the behavior of one country to support the other countries which are needed at that moment. So cost risk factors also give the significance of the foreign policy of a particular country. Next one, I would like to mention foreign policy has to be examined from actual behavior pattern of states rather than exclusively from declared objectives or policy plans. It is also very, very important. The country must examine what the actual behavior and pattern of states rather than exclusively from declared objectives or policy plans. Sometimes there is a challenge how to behave in the particular situation. At that moment, the country must take the opinion of the people and move on that direction. That will help the country, which makes the issue problem solving or supporting other countries in a desirable manner. That is very, very important. So these are all prerequisites of foreign policy. Next, I would like to Instruments of foreign policy. The instruments of foreign policy may be said to be those institutions or devices through which the national power or resources are used for the accomplishment of the interests and objectives. Here is some important points I would like to mention one by one. The first one is diplomacy. Good diplomats, ambassadors, NOs, ministers, and some of them, and through their art of diplomacy, can put countries' viewpoint effectively before the world. Diplomacy reduces the area of disagreement and misunderstanding with other states. So, whenever the government has to appoint the diplomats, it is better to select the capable and caliber personalities which are having some good qualities to crack the difficulties whenever rises. So diplomacy, a good diplomacy is well worth to solve the problems and make the strengthen of the relations among the countries. The next point I would like to mention publicity and propaganda. This can be used steadily to combat and break down the undesirable attitudes and opinions and to create the desired attitudes and opinions. Nowadays, the media expanding, nook and corner, electronic media and print media both are playing a crucial role to carry the issues and also aware the public on the particular issues. So publicity and propaganda is necessary for a particular country to express his views in the directions of protecting international peace and security. The next one I would like to tell you, balance of power. This method is used for avoiding imbalance of power and strengthening the position of given nations. So the countries must maintain the balance of power at international level. Some countries are strengthened, some countries are weakened. So the strengthened countries are violating the norms of international peace and security frequently. At the same time, the other countries must come forward to combat the situations which will be badly harmful to the international peace and security. So balance of power is very, very important. By the lack of balance of power, the First and Second World Wars had happened. So that situations will not arise. So every country must aware to protect the balance of power at international level. Next one I would like to mention collective security. The principle of collective security is adopted to secure collective defense as threateningly posed or actually mobilized against a powerful nation or nations. Collective security is a concept which must be taken into consideration by all the countries. For example, a particular place is threatening with war. The effect of the war spreading over the world. So many countries are suffered on that war. So collective security is necessary to taken into consideration to preserve the world in the peaceful manner. Next one, international law organizations. These are also used by nations whenever possible for advancing the objectives of foreign policy. So every country must respect the international law and international organizations which are established to preserve the international peace and security and also development of the countries. So every country must obey the norms of international organizations and also follow the directions for the safe and security of the world. Next, I would like to mention economic and non-political methods. Various economic methods are also adopted by various nations to achieve their foreign policy objectives and also the harm the interest of opponents. Some of the countries are behaving rudely and also deliberately violating the international peace and security. So in this way, every country must aware to protect the international interests and also not support for the interest of opponent countries which are badly affected on the international peace and security. The next one, war and peace. The institutions of war and peace are a kind of ultimate answer to the probability of a nation foreign policy. So war and peace both must be taken into consideration and decided which has to be needed for preserving the peace in the world. So that's why war and peace both must be taken consideration for the preserving international peace and security. Next one I would like to mention. Next concept of foreign policy is determinants of foreign policy. Foreign policy of states is determined by a number of factors. These determinants can be broadly classified into three categories. The first one is general and objective determinants. The general determinants are common to all states. These are the basic components of state foreign policy. Some of them are, first one is sovereignty and integrity of a state. Every state keeps in mind its sovereignty and security, integrity of the nation. It is very, very necessary to protect its sovereignty and integrity of the state. That is the first determinant and also general determinant which is applicable to all the nations. The second one is interdependence of states. Interdependence means depending on others and also extending their mutual cooperation. That is the interdependence. No country is considered as self-sufficient in the terms of domestic and economical aspects. So every country needs some help from other countries. Interdependence may lead to cooperation conflict. The degree of interdependence may be calculated for the strengthening of relations among the countries. The next one is promotion of national interests. Every state wishes and safeguards its national interests. Every country has some objectives, some aims, which helps the country to move in the progressive level. So the promotion of national interest is very, very necessary. The country must be developed in a desirable manner. That is the first and foremost important determinant. The next one is internal and external conditions. These are also very, very important for determining the foreign policy of a particular country. The internal and external factors may vary from time to time. The rulers of a particular country must react immediately according to the situations in and around the country and move to make the foreign policy a fruitful element for the development of the country. The next one is specific, objective or internal determinants. Every state formulates its foreign policy based on some specific internal conditions. It adopts such diplomatic strategies in tackling the problems and difficulties of its people. They may vary from each country. Some important determinants of internal or specific or subjective, I would like to mention some of them. The first one is geography. A permanent and stable determinant of foreign policy is geography. Geography means climate, resources, frontiers, neighborhood, etc. These physical characteristics have an impact on vigor and the quality of life of a nation. A sound foreign policy can be formulated when the country is physically strong and valuable. The next one is history. History of a country carries its failures and successes. The past experience can make things purposefully. Policy makers formulate the foreign policy according to the ideals we choose and values that are inherited from the past. A nation's culture and character is reflected in its foreign policy. The third one is population. The size and nature of population will have an impact on foreign policy. If the people are well educated, skilled, healthy, and strong, they will be able to bring identity and influencing capacity to the nation. The nature of the people are very, very important. We can easily identify the variation, the nature of the people in various countries. It is very lucky to have a good opinion on the Indians. They are very industrious. So many foreign countries having such opinion, they are giving opportunities to our Indians wherever they need to employment. That is a good attitude towards India of foreign countries. So the next one is natural resources. Availability of resources in plenty definitely enhances the importance of a country. For example, petroleum has significantly strengthened the position of West Asian countries in international relations. On the contrary, a country lacking in these resources will follow a weak foreign policy. So natural resources are very, very important and considered as a strong determinant of the formulating the foreign policy. The next one is economic factors. In today's world, no country is economically self-sufficient. Interdependence became the need of the day in one aspect or the other. A careful and articulated foreign policy furthers the economic interest of a nation and protects from ill effects of the new global economic order. The next one is development. Usually, a development nation tends to follow an independent foreign policy, whereas backward nation is inclined to pursue a depending policy. In foreign policy, correlationship between development and independence is indefinite and uncertain. Development is very, very important parameter to calculate the progress of the country. So the country always seeking to development of the people of its own. So on this direction, the country may have to cooperation of other countries to take their help for the development of its people. So it is also an important determinant for the foreign policy. The next one is national and military capacity. The states with adequate military capacity will have greater initiative and bargaining power in foreign policy matters. If the state increases its national capacity, its foreign policy will need a big change. It will strive to attain a good position. If not, the state will have to compromise with its poor status. So this is also very important and a vital determinant for the foreign policy. Next one is ideology. There has been a great debate on whether ideology acts as a determinant of foreign policy. Some scholars say that democratic nations believe in peace, while dictatorial regimes believes in war. So ideology is also very, very important. The favorism of one country reflects on the basis of its ideology. So ideology is also important determinant for the foreign policy. The next one is public opinion. Especially in democratic countries, public opinion cannot be ignored as one of the determinants of the foreign policy. Once a public opinion is mobilized and expressed in clear terms on a particular issue, it becomes difficult for the government to overlook it. So every country has to take the public opinion as a considerable thing. Public opinion is very, very important to move in the international scenario that will help the government, which gains the moral support of the people at his own. So public opinion also important for the framing foreign policy. The next one is decision makers. The attitude of policy and decision makers is also carried weight. Leadership determines the strength and the direction of a foreign policy. So we have to mention the India's foreign policy. At the initial stage, the policy makers of our foreign policy have taken so many things in formulating the foreign policy. Jawaharlal Nehru played a pivotal role for framing the India's foreign policy by the way of adopting non-aligned features and imbibed in the foreign policy of our country. So the decision makers also very, very important because they played a pivotal role in framing the foreign policy. The next one is domestic instability. Sometimes domestic instability also works as a determinant of foreign policy. The next one is external determinants. A nation cannot formulate its foreign policy according to its internal factors alone. It has to consider the external factors also. In this direction, we have to mention international organization as one of the external determinants. The activities of international organizations influence the foreign policy of a state. Various international laws, treaties are formulated and implemented by these organizations. Whether to participate in them or not is decided by the foreign policy. Now we are all living in the global village. So the international organizations played a crucial role to protect the international peace and security, and also strengthening the human relations among the nations, and also flourishing the human values by the way of supporting the people where they are suffering by the natural calamities and other things. Next one, I would like to mention world public opinion. World public opinion provides dynamism to external environment. It is always changing. No country, howsoever powerful, can go ever challenging world public opinion. So, world public opinion is also considerable aspect to move in the particular direction towards the issues. The next one is reaction of other states. The states cannot always neglect the viewpoint of other states while making their foreign policy. The last one is other external factors. The other external factors that have a bearing upon foreign policy are general world conditions. Bipolar or multipolar also influence foreign policy of various states. So, these are the determinants to formulating the foreign policy of a particular country. So, the foreign policy is not stable. It may be changing from time to time on the situation demand, because the world receives changing aspects from time to time. So no country will not stick on a particular procedure or particular philosophy. It must be changed from time to time. So this is the matter now I am presenting. Thank you one and all for giving me this opportunity.